After the meetings, the president spoke before the Los Angeles World Affairs Council, or LAWAC, on the growing tension between the Philippines and China over sovereignty issues in the South China Sea. He also discussed the new defense agreement between Manila and Washington, security in East Asia, and the future for economic growth in the Philippines and its neighbors in Southeast Asia. Again, here's Rocky Ignacio.
President Aquino maintained the Philippines' position to resolve territorial dispute in the West Philippine Sea peacefully. In his meeting with members of the Los Angeles World Affairs Council, the president said that stability means prosperity. Sea row between the Philippines and China was raised during the open forum. But the president reiterated that the relations of the two countries did not center on just the West Philippine Sea.
Our country is interested, any government, our government is interested in improving the lot of our people. Now, prosperity cannot happen in instability. So we are asking cooperation in promoting stability as a necessary groundwork or as a necessary base for prosperity to happen for all our respective peoples. So we did point out as a last point, in 2011, Philippine companies had invested something to the tune of $2.5 billion in China's economy. China invested $600 million in the Philippine economy. They sent us, at that point in time, about 200,000 tourists. And at that point in time, we sent them 800,000 tourists. So we said, you have a very good situation, no matter how you look at it. And they responded in 2011 by saying our disputes in this body of water should not be the be-all and end-all of our relationship. But unfortunately, when they stopped, for instance, their importation of our bananas, part of the reason was this dispute. And the only tension actually that does exist is primarily because of our differing views as to who is entitled to what.
During the occasion, the president presented the gains of reforms implemented under the straight path of governance and measures that guaranteed jobs and opportunities.
What guarantees? Well, the only guarantee I can give you is an opportunity that is increasing. The numbers speak for themselves. We are at lowest unemployment figure. Overseas foreign workers, when I started out, was pegged at about 10 million of our countrymen. The number now at the high point is about 9.4 million. They didn't disappear. They went back home, or a lot of them did come back home. Even at the height of the Arab Spring, 2011, we were just starting out, engineers from Libya, and quite a large number of them, actually had jobs already waiting for them by the time they landed in Manila.
The president said that accountability against misuse of public funds will continue. More than 7 million Filipinos are now lifted from poverty.
As you can see, my parents have bequeathed to me a solid legacy of speaking before communities in the United States. Today, I return to share how we are harvesting the fruits of sacrifice. That of my parents, but more so that of millions of Filipinos who stood for freedom in those dark days. Perhaps like any youthful democracy, the years after martial law were not free from missteps. My own ascent into office marked the end of a lost decade, during which my predecessor was besieged, amongst others, by allegations of corruption. True enough, just as Filipinos unseated the dictator in 1986, they flocked to the polling stations in 2010 to vote not for personality, but for the idea that defined our campaign. In Filipino, it's called kung walang korap, walang mahirap, which translates to where there is no corruption, there will be no poverty.
For the People's Television, Rocky Ignacio, Los Angeles, California.